Let me just close with a couple of thoughts about what might happen after November. If Trump wins, and I neither expect nor want that to happen, the liberal order will fray even more. His own commitment to liberal values seems paper thin. He has promised to play hardball with a lot of traditional American allies, and he has little knowledge, no experience, and hardly anyone advising him who knows much of anything about foreign policy. In short, a Trump presidency would be a social science experiment of historic proportions, and it's one I have no desire to participate in. Now, if Clinton wins, many people expect her to be a much more enthusiastic liberal interventionist than, say, Barack Obama. Now, it's true she's been pretty hawkish in the past, and she's made some boneheaded foreign policy judgments. But let me just go out on a limb and say that I think she may be much more restrained in her conduct of foreign policy and her activist promotion of the liberal agenda than you might think. You recall that Bill Clinton, whom I believe she still talks to occasionally, talked big on foreign policy, very ambitious set of foreign policy goals, but he tried to do it all on the cheap and was very risk averse about using American military power. Right? Hillary, I think, wants to be a domestic president, and a very large, ambitious foreign policy agenda isn't consistent with trying to do a lot of things here at home. Moreover, if you look around the world, there are hardly any possible interventions, particularly military interventions, that look really promising, right? Instead, they all look like potential quagmires. And you'd have to be a real enthusiastic liberal humanitarian to want to do a lot of them. And finally, remember that she was a big promoter of the so-called pivot to Asia during Obama's first term, and you can't pivot to Asia in a serious way if you're trying to do a lot of nation building in places like Yemen or Iraq. So I think Clinton will talk a lot about defending and spreading liberal values, but again, like her husband, she will do it as gingerly as possible. Now, does that mean that the liberal order will continue to erode? Maybe not. Because if you're like me and you think the best way to promote liberal values around the world is to set a really good example here in the United States, then a successful domestic agenda and less military intervention abroad might do a better job of selling the liberal ideal than some of the things we've done over the past 25 years. And needless to say, I hope I'm right.